Stefanos, we spoke to you in Miami and you were being very honest about how you were really working hard to get that sort of shoulder injury behind you. How did it affect you, or how much did it affect you in those couple of games? Is it all finally behind you now, do you think?
Yes, I wasn't in the best of places during this 4 weeks in the US and wasn't feeling the best. But I'm over it now. I'm happy that this is something that belongs to the past and I can now move forward and have it as just an experience that occurred to me and prepare for something bigger now in the future.
It's good that it's behind you, but how were you dealing with it mentally? Because it must be frustrating when it's sort of lingering like that.
It is frustrating that when you wake up every single day and you just feel the pain, the constant pain on the shoulder, you keep on putting hours of rehabilitation in, trying to fix it, trying to correct it, but it doesn't quite respond the way you expect it to. And that can be a frustrating process. It can be a process of doubt. It can be a process of just experimenting maybe with new things, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I think it's also like a learning curve for me to try and avoid perhaps doing things that might have caused that thing, and be more wise in my preparation and in the way I approach a change within my game.
Good to be able to look towards more positive things, and there's what better place to be more positive than somewhere where you're now a double world champion? What sort of memories do you have when you think back over the last couple of years here?
All I could think of from here is just pristine, classy, glamorous. All these words are sort of synonyms to Monte Carlo, and I always feel that sort of euphoria when I'm in these courts. We date back. We have a long history with Monte Carlo. This is the very first tournament that I came as a kid to watch. A pretty good choice for my parents to bring me here, and we were coming to the south of France since a very young age when I picked up a tennis racket at the age of 6 and started taking it a bit more serious. I started coming here a bit more often. I started my young junior career playing tournaments in the south of France, even before I started playing nationals back home. So this is the place that has developed my tennis through the years, and that's where I learned this that French greedy clay court tennis.
What do you remember specifically from those two championship runs though? Of course the first one a bit strange with no fans, but in terms of the tennis, what's worked so well for you here?
Well, I just think when you combine sea view with like mountains, some great things happen. I'm all about aesthetics. I'm all about the experience that you get when you're in a tournament. I've talked about how certain tournaments are soulless and don't offer more than just the tennis itself. So just being able to combine such a beautiful stadium in a country club and not in a fixed venue that is solely made for tennis, that stands out on its own, and that's what makes it exciting to be playing on these courts, and wants me sort of to be coming back every single year and doing the best possible I can for me to stay as long as possible here too.
I'm going to say a couple of names for you: Rafael Nadal, Ilia Nastase. I think you know what's coming. They're the only two players to have won this tournament 3 times in a row. What would it mean for you to join that club, and how confident are you in doing so?
It would definitely be an elite club of players. And I think I'll be very proud of myself, but I have a lot of work to do to get there.
It is, of course, as well the first clay event of the season. How much do you enjoy the transition, and how tough is it to make that switch from the hard courts?
The transition for me is very smooth, and I picked it up, I think, I mean, I don't want to say big words, but like perhaps even like first day, I was switched on. I would say second day was already, I was already getting into the rhythm of the clay. I felt like, this is it. I really miss clay, and it's, the shot selection is different. You have to get used to the sliding, which is something that you avoid on the hard courts. So it's just getting started on that, getting in the habit of sliding instead of stepping, and just leaving the court with one step. These are some of the things that you have to focus on when you get started on this court.
Yeah, the movement's different, but also tactically it's a very different game as well, isn't it?
It is a very different game indeed. There's much more strategy involved, in my opinion. You have to be much more patient on the court. And what is so exciting about the surface is even if you do a small mistake, a small error during a rally, you can always correct it and fix it, which is not really the case on hard courts and fast surfaces. Once you mess it up, you're probably going to pay the price. But here you can always defend. You can always defend a few shots, in fact, and get back into offense at some point during the rally. And there's just so much creativity and flow into the game. There's the excitement of rallies, which is constantly just happening. And serve anymore is not the biggest of weapons anymore. It's just you need to utilize your mind in the right direction and just be patient with what you're trying to do out there.
And finally, it's the youngest top 10 we've had in terms of the average age in the top 10 for a decade. Obviously, that's been sort of bumped down with Rafa going out of the top 10. But what do you think that says about the game today?
Well, I think the game was headed towards this already a long time, and I guess this is now the time that it has made this big statement, let's say, on the ATP rankings. And I think we just have to get used to it, because this is normal right now. This is absolutely normal, and that's where the game is headed. It's headed towards us, the youngsters. I don't know if we can call ourselves youngsters yet. I mean, I'm almost 25. I'm closing 25 this year, so I would consider myself somewhere in between, but very young in my soul and heart.